Welcome, my friends, to the beginning of a brand new full experience journey. The full experience is a 4-episode journey into television series where we attempt to see if we can exist as if we know the series simply by watching the first, the ultimate, the lowest, and the last episode of the series, ultimate and lowest, based on their IMDb rankings by users. We are beginning to watch 24, episode 1, midnight to 1 a.m., which first aired on November 6, 2001. I'm Tom Merritt. He's Brian Brushwood.
The following commentary took place between 3:55 Pacific and 4:10 Pacific.
In real time.
In real time. That's right. Comments happened in real time. Speaking of which, that opening, you get used to every single episode saying the following events took place between time and time because it does that every single time. But only in the pilot does it remind you that events occur in real time, which when I heard it at the beginning of this very first pilot episode, I thought, well, that is taxing and unnecessary and putting a hat on a hat. Turns out it was excellent conditioning because, first of all, 2001, first of all, you have this super patriotic national desire to be flexible about certain constitutional protections. Yeah. You also had a transitory moment between 4/3 standard definition and 16:9 widescreen, which I thought this navigated super duper well because you could tell that all the primary characters are always in the center of when it's widescreen, but also whenever it was doing multicam stuff, it always kept that in the center. But because it was doing that kind of 1960s blocky Brady Bunch looking thing, I thought it played super well. I thought it held up pretty nicely. Also, I could tell I'm old because I know things have to look hilariously aged 24 years ago. 24, Tom. But to my eyes, I'm like, oh, everything looks pretty modern.
Yeah. I don't know if it's because we're old. And so we're like, yeah, I remember my dad saying, why are you so obsessed with the 40s? I don't think things have changed that much since then. And I was like, how could you possibly say that? So maybe we're falling for that. I thought it was interesting how things looked somewhat 80s-ish in a way, like a modernized 80s. It was really interesting to see the technology, people on cell phones calling people on cordless phones at home, right? Like not everyone using cell phones yet.
Teenagers not having cell phones.
We don't know where she is. How could we possibly find her? She doesn't have a cell phone. I thought it was really interesting. The technology, the computer screens were realistic. You're still looking at CRT monitors because LCD flat screens haven't totally caught on yet. But the screens were not like the oversized, full of unnecessary numbers. Everything looked like an actual login screen that you would have had back in 2001. So that part of it played well too, and did sort of anchor it in time just based on the technology that they're using.
There was one minor linguistic drift moment where the mom says to the other friend's dad, I hacked into my daughter's email.
Oh, right. Yeah. No, that was the funny, there were a couple of things. The other one was where we let her, what did they say? Not associate, but they said something about letting her have her own password so that she could have privacy. And I was like, well, you couldn't have guessed your daughter's password? Like, life sucks would have been maybe an early choice to try. Like, you knew it was going to be a dictionary word. Like, it can't have been that hard to hack into, literally, instead of just getting the password and logging in, which is what mom did.
Right.
I also admired, by the way, we haven't set the stage here. I've never seen 24. I have watched parts of maybe 2 episodes that were on somewhere where I was. And so I kind of got the flavor of like, oh, that's who Jack Bauer is. That's what he does. Oh, that's the guy playing the president. That's kind of the extent of my 24 knowledge. So it was impressive to me in this first episode to see how they weaved in the typical primetime legal drama thriller tropes. You've got a love story. You've got a marriage on the rocks. You've got a disobedient daughter. Like, this isn't just pure action. We need to save the presidential candidate. This is got a lot of complexity to the story, even if it is very primetime complexity. And that really does add to the tension, because you don't know if the daughter's husband is part of the plot by the end. You don't know. I mean, you certainly are. It's implied that the two guys that the daughter and her friend met up with are up to no good. Are they also part of the plot, or are they up to no good in some other kind of way? And it really does ramp up the tension. When you get to 1 a.m., you are definitely ready to find out what happens at 1:01 a.m.
So we get a bit of a fake out. We spend the bulk of the second half of this very first episode believing that the senator's wife is setting up the senator presidential candidate to be assassinated. But then
wait, we do?
Well, because from the plane, the Glasgow creeper, who we believe to be an assassin, who is coyly like, I have to shoot someone. I am a photographer.
I definitely thought the Glasgow guy was the assassin, for sure.
That's correct. And
I did not think the wife had anything to do with it. I thought he was playing her.
No. Very clearly, they have a. I am coming into town. I will be there for in time. Is all set up for in right place and stuff. So it's like it seems like she's villainous.
Really?
Well, because we think he's the assassin.
Well, I thought he was the assassin, but I'm being honest with you here. I did not in any way associate her as being villainous. I thought she was just a dupe that he had figured out an in with.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because I thought
I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying that's what I got out of that.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Well, regardless, I remember.
I definitely thought he was the bad guy. I'm like, oh yeah, right. This is the guy who's going to, who is the threat. Whoever hired him, we still have to find out. But this is the guy who's going to try to shoot the president. And then turns out, no, it's the woman who used an unnecessarily complicated method to get out of the plane.
But really cool. I mean,
super cool.
You wanted to scream movie production values, a little bit cheap in the props department, but that visual motif of use a bomb to blow yourself out of the airlock and then also blow up the plane to cover your tracks. Kind of brilliant.
Yeah. And there's, the part of me that realized, oh wait, she blew up the plane so no one will miss her. Made it work for me. Like, oh, okay, so now she's untraceable because everyone will think she's dead, right? She blew up in the plane. And it would take a long time for them to realize, well, we didn't have any DNA evidence of this particular passenger and she's the only one, if that were to ever happen. So yes, good way to cover your tracks. But also I was like, she also could have just stole the guy's card and then got off the plane and no one would have noticed, but I guess she would have left a trail going through immigration or whatever. Right?
I mean, also do not lose sight of the stunt writing on all of this. The fact that we got a big surprise, we got a big set piece at the end of this particular episode. We also had kind of a make sense within this first hour, but once you know the full story, a random overreaction, overwrought, tranquilizing of Jack Bauer's boss.
Oh yeah, no, that struck me as also unnecessary, but also it did fit into the like we can't trust anyone inside. I was like, it just felt a little early to go to those lengths, right? I'm like, oh okay, we're just getting right into it here. We're not going to mess around.
Keep in mind, this is, the premiere of the new show on, at the time. So you have to hit certain things. There are times where it's really neat that they keep the real time conceit very, very good, and commercial breaks very useful for any time a 5-minute car drive needs to happen so that you could go from one set to another. Very short meetings in this universe, Tom. 30-second long meetings. Come
Yeah.
on in. Everybody come on in. 3 sentences. Okay, good.
I mean, we need that kind of government efficiency these days, right? Like, what happened to that? No, it's obviously in service of the plot. Also thought, I don't know if this is another misinterpretation or if it's something you noticed too. You get a little parallel between the daughter and Jack. The daughter, at first you're like, oh, she's in over her head with these guys, but then she like makes up a story that her dad's dead, right? Clearly to lead this guy on and get him under her sway. Now, clearly by the end of the show, we realize those guys are up to something else and maybe that didn't work, but they did that back to back. They show her pull that move, and then we cut to Jack pulling his own move, where he's like going around the system to get his information. And I'm like, oh, they're definitely daughter, father cut from the same cloth.
Pete points out in the chat, note that the plane explosion was edited out because of 9/11. That would explain why I don't have any memory of that awesome ending to the episode.
Wait, the plane explosion was in this version that we watched and not?
I believe so. Yeah. He said, note that the plane explosion was edited out because of 9/11. Here, let me check that while you give me
that
more
would
of
throw
your
off the
thoughts.
time though.
Yeah, that look, hey man, I'm just the messenger from the messengers.
And honestly, if you're like, well, who's Pete? Pete is the guy who generally gives us verifiably correct information about the shows we're talking about. Oh, he's just saying that you don't see it explode, which is true.
I see.
We
Okay,
see the door
Debris.
blow out, but we don't see the plane actually explode. That makes sense. Okay, I got it. Thank you, Pete.
Yeah.
Sexy plane passenger. That was a twist. I liked that. I didn't see that coming.
How can I put this? I'm certain Senator Barack Obama became president on his own merits, but does Senator Barack Obama win 2008 without 24 paving the way?
Well, we'll have to run an A/B test.
Yeah, that's right. In an alternate timeline, because a lot of parallels,
I'm not going to deny that the same thoughts cross through my mind. Certainly, this plays differently now after 2008 than it did in 2001, as far as believability. And to your point, it is almost too close in some ways, to reality with clear differences.
I mean, that was the, I remember, I think it was in 2002, hearing rumblings as, when Barack Obama was, I believe, a junior senator, that they're all like, so are we going to do 24 6 years from now? I
think it was 2004 when he gave the Democratic convention speech.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Which 24 was still on the air at that point. I don't know. I think Barack Obama still wins the presidency without 24. But I won't deny that it can't not be intricately woven into the story somehow, because it provided a template for the world to look at, for the U.S. electorate to look at specifically, and map on to his run. I tend to guess that he won for a lot of reasons, and so even if you didn't have 24, probably would have won. But I guess we'll never know. It's an interesting thought experiment.
Yeah. Here's the big question: did you enjoy it?
Yes, very much. I thought it was a really good first episode, left me with lots of questions, which is exactly what a good first episode should do. Never dragged. Even though we do a lot of family stuff at the beginning, I'm like, oh, there's a mystery. There's another mystery. I thought that was really good. The only big criticism I have is that it really made people in the Valley look bad. And I think that's unfair. Some guys in the Valley. You're going to the Valley with some guy? Like, come on, folks. This is not 1974.
I thought we were more mature than this. Come on.
Yeah, seriously. Studio City has a lot of fine restaurants, okay? Everybody relax. No, I thought this was really good.
Yeah.
He points
I
out Morgan
really enjoyed-
Freeman played the president in Deep Impact in 1998.
Yes. The shocking similarities between Morgan Freeman and Barack Obama are what we're all thinking of.
So there we go. I think the real test of 24 in the full experience comes next. We're going to have a real test every episode. I'm going to say that at the end of every one of these episodes, but we are jumping ahead to the finale of season 1. I'm not going to be watching the parts of 24 that lead us to 11 p.m. to midnight. I'm jumping 22 hours ahead, 23 hours ahead, 22 hours ahead to season 1, episode 24 for the ultimate episode. That actually seems like it's got a chance to work. Where I'll probably get a previously on and I'll see how the story wraps up.
This is a very rare opportunity because I don't think you have any residual cultural memories from this first season.
Nope.
I think that you really are a blank slate, and I think you really are enjoying it, and I think you really were paying attention. Can you now, while the window is here, speculate on which characters have still made it and which plot points are happening? And like, just tell me how big or left-hand turns, like what do you think the last episode of this adventure, if all you have are the first 2 dot points on the line graph, can you project 23 hours into the future?
I want to say Airplane Girl isn't the assassin. It's actually going to be a more complicated backstory. We're going to get another twist on her. I'm going to say that the love interest, the "Are you still sleeping with her?" girl from inside of the 3-letter agency,
CTU, counterterrorism unit.
Yeah, inside the CTU. She, if not the mole, is untrustworthy. I'm going to say that...
Is that because of her sharp arched eyebrows, her plucked eyebrows?
It's not because of those. I'm going to say that the boys in the van are just up to boys in the van no good, but the dad of Janet is involved somehow, and he is capturing the mom and hoping to capture the daughter as well to hold over Jack's head.
Man, if anybody can remind us of these predictions next week, I would love to. I should have been writing them down, Tom.
Yeah. ChatGPT, do a transcript of what I just said.
Yeah.
So there we go. I don't know if subconsciously I subsumed parts of 24. So if I get anything right, it's probably because of that versus my own predictive
I will
powers,
say that Nina is a more interesting character, and I was surprised at how clearly, and maybe I'm just more well versed in the rules of good guy with untrustworthy aspects or good team people being broadcast. So sort of like
well, now I'm suspecting the wife because you told me that I should have been suspecting her and now I shouldn't be. So now I think I am suspecting her of something. Anyway, this is a fun game and I'm very much enjoying the fact that I held off. My joke was always someday when I'm retired, I will watch all of 24 in real time. Like I'll just, one after the other, binge it in real time. But this is better.
Can you imagine you go to sleep and you wake up, you're like, has the whole world gone crazy overnight?
Yeah, exactly. That is the first episode of 24, very practically named midnight, 12 a.m. to 1 a.m. Next time, the ultimate, the highest rated episode of 24, the season 1 finale, episode 24, the 24th hour, 11 p.m. to 12 a.m. You get these episodes early if you're a patron. Don't hesitate to become a patron and get these episodes early. You also get After Talk, where we actually discuss which episode should go into the full experience. We have spoiler in time from time to time and after talk for shows that are in current production that we want to talk about. So go become a patron if you're not already. And if you are, thank you so much. Patreon.com/Cordkillers. We'll talk to you next time.